Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I am very excited to bring you guys my Chaos Max Drytron deck profile. Now I've been doing a lot of different deck profiles on variations that you can do with Drytron. Obviously the Cyber Angel, back when it was like pure Cyber Angel with Drytron. Before the Banlist, I did the Necroz deck profile. Now I wanted to get you guys Chaos Max because this is just an amazing deck. It's actually pretty darn consistent at just OTKing your opponent, especially in the first duel, just to, if your opponent goes first and whatnot, and they don't know what's coming, they're not really prepared for the OTK, and then you just kind of thrash them in with the Chaos Max, and we have a lot of really great ways to get to that, but I will get to all of that throughout the deck profile, so without any further ado, let's get right on into it. If you guys have not subscribed yet to the channel and you are looking for more of these nostalgia deck profiles, competitive budget deck profiles, please consider subscribing to the channel. Just for more content like this. So anyways, 3 copies of the Chaos Max Dragon. This card doesn't require, much explanation, but 4,000 attack beater, and if it pounds into a defense monster, it does double piercing damage, and if you guys are as good at math as I am, that equals 8,000 damage. So yeah, this guy right here can totally end games, and then also your opponent can't destroy him by card effects, so he does have a little bit of protection if your opponent makes you go first, and we also have a couple other cards to prepare for that as well. Then we'll go on into 2 copies of the Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. This guy's not quite as good, but he does really help set up the Chaos Max Dragon. We have actually 3 ways to set off Chaos Max's OTK potential, so this is our first sort of win condition, is that when he gets special summoned by using Blue Eyes as his material, then you're able to switch all of your opponent's monsters to defense, and then their attack and defense go to 0, and so then once they hit 0, then you go in with the Chaos Max, and then you're able to get that 8,000 damage just to win the duel with 1 swing. So he is really, really nice just for doing that. Also, he does the piercing damage and has protection as well, which is really cool. Then we'll go on into 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. I like playing all 3 different arts. You guys can obviously play however you want to, but I just like looking at these guys. Yeah, so basically 3 Blue Eyes, and then you're going to want 1 to 2 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative. I like playing 2 just to make sure that you can still see it if you have sort of not a suboptimal hand. Alternative is just a nice way to sort of break into a card on your opponent's board and then link away if you just need like 1 more link material or XZ material as well. So he just really helps to clear the board for problematic monsters and whatnot. Then we're going on into 3 copies of Drytron Alpha, just for the start off for our Drytron. There's other variations of this, so if you guys are looking to play just Chaos Max, you guys can go with Incantations, which is a much cheaper build. There's a lot of really great deck profiles out there for Incantations. And I could do one as well in the future for all the budget players. But anyways, with this, you get to search out your ritual monsters. With the Zeta, we're going to go with 2 copies of Zeta to search out our spells. And our spells are just super fantastic in this deck. 1 copy of Gamma and then 1 copy of Delta. Delta is really amazing in here because we have so many ways to thin out the deck, actually, that if you wait till the end of your combo to use your Delta, then you're going to be able to draw a card, which allows you to just search more for like that last missing piece if you need to like pick up a Gamma out of the deck or something. He's just really amazing. Then for our small fairy engine, we're playing 1 copy of Cyber Angel Benton. Yes, this card is still worth playing even though it's only at 1 copy because just getting out that extra search is really, really crucial. So our cards to search, our best one to pick up is our Manju of 10,000 hands. He's going to be your normal summon of the deck, and so you only need to play 1 of him. So your basic, the way that your turn needs to go is you want to use Alpha to search for your Benton, and then tribute the Benton off with 1 of your other cards. Hopefully you have a Zeta in hand. Then when you send off from the Zeta, then you're going to be able to get a ritual spell, and then you also get to search off the Manju off of the Benton, and then you use your Manju to pick up whatever ritual monster that you want. Generally, you're going to pick up your Chaos Max, and then from there you have both of your pieces that you need to OTK your opponent. as long as you can get a defense monster on your opponent's side of the board. And again, like I said, we have 3 different ways to do that. So then just extra search targets, we have a Cyber Angel Izana. There is a reason why I picked her over the other card. There's one that's like 2700 attack. I don't totally know the name. And then our last card is Vanity's Ruler. He's really great, again, for if you go first. Sort of like, I mean, like... he's basically your best card for if you're going first. You can sort of set up with him and then maybe even a Chaos Max just for more battle protection. So that's going to do it for all of the monsters. So we have 3 search targets for our Ben 10. Generally, you're always going to be starting off with the Manju, but these guys being level 8s, the Izana and your Vanity's Ruler are definitely key components. And so for that reason, we are playing 3 copies of Trade-In for our spells because we have so many level 8s. So for Trade-In, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10, 11, 12 targets in the deck. So over a quarter of the deck is all level 8s, and just to help us to sort of feed into the deck as much as we want. And then we have definitely ways to resurrect cards that are in the graveyard with our Meteonis Drytron. So we're playing 1 copy of that. This is actually, believe it or not, only your second best ritual spell in the deck. So your best one is going to be Advanced Ritual Art. This can be used to summon any of your rituals just by sending your Blue Eyes to the graveyard. So any normal monster, but obviously we are playing the Blue Eyes in the deck for that fulfillment. Basically, you're always going to be summoning off one of your Chaos Dragons off of that, but you can still do like the Izana or whatever if you need to. Basically, this card is just in here to get off whatever you need. This is the main card that you're always going to be using. Then we have 1 copy of Chaos Form. The reason why you're playing these at such low numbers is because they are all highly searchable, and then also the Meteonis Drytron can be brought back to your hand every single turn, so you always have access to your spell cards. For the rest of your Drytron engine, we have 3 copies of Drytron Fafnir, and I'm playing the Nova the same way that I did in the Necroz deck profile, just only 2 Novas. So for people who cannot afford 3 of the Nova, 2 is totally perfect in here because you have the Fafnir to always search, and these cards can get very bricky, especially in this deck, by how hard you can just sift through the deck. Then we have 3 copies of Cyber Emergency. Emergency is, we want this at 3 of, because this card is sometimes almost better than Nova because it can bring itself back to the hand if it gets negated, and then you can just activate it again, which is really, really cool. Then we're going to go on into 3 copies of Melody of Awakening Dragon. We have so many targets for this. I believe that we have over 6, maybe 8 targets for the Melody of the Awakening Dragon, which is really cool. And then for our final 2 spell cards, we were playing 2 copies of Cheyenne Spy. You don't even need to play this at a 3 of in the deck because you generally don't need it. So this is going to be our second of the 3 win conditions that we have to get a defense monster to our opponent's side of the field. So if you're at the end of your turn and you get Chaos Max Dragon out, then you're ready to do some piercing damage, and then all you need is one of your Drytron monsters to be on the board. You use Cheyenne Spy to switch it over to your opponent, and then you are able to do double piercing damage for 8,000 damage because all of the Drytrons have 0 defense. So Cheyenne Spy, really, really cool. You can also play alternatively Creature Swap, and I would suggest having that in the extra deck, in the side deck, but to me, Cheyenne Spy is just a little bit nicer because you don't need to steal anything off of the Creature Swap. The Cheyenne Spy is always going to probably go off because your opponent, if your opponent has something that makes it so like your monsters can't be targeted or they're unaffected by card effects or something. I guess Creature Swap doesn't even target, but there's just a lot of reasons why Cheyenne Spy is just a little bit better. So for that reason, I wanted to stick with that. Then we'll go on into the extra deck, and the only card that really matters in the extra deck is this card right here, Geonator Transverser. This is the best card in your extra deck, believe it or not, because this is our 3rd condition to get a defense monster over to our opponent's side of the field. So with the Geonator Transverser, as long as you can get out your Chaos Max and 3 other monsters, including a Drytron, I generally try to put a Drytron over in the far left corner, and then you get your Geonator Transverser out, or wherever Geonator Transverser can point to an opponent's monster. Then you swap their positions, you give the Drytron monster to your opponent, and then you just summon out the Chaos Max Dragon, and you get to pound once again. So for that reason, Geonator Transverser is like your best card in the extra deck, like hands down, super duper good. So then besides that, we're just playing a bunch of other cards that can break our opponent's board or protect us. So we have Link Karibo and Relinquished Anima. These cards are very standard for a Drytron build, but the Anima is super good for just taking away your opponent's problem monsters or just negating or sort of baiting out a negate. Then we'll go on into one copy of IP Masquerena as well as the full Nightmare package. The Nightmare package is really insane in here because you can go into these. These are almost more of a draw engine than as a board breaking engine because, like I said, again, you can just sift through the deck super duper fast. And so with these guys, once you get your deck going, and you maybe you resolve a Melody of the Awakening Dragons or something off a few times and you get your ritual monsters out of the deck, then you start using like Cerberus and whatnot in order to just draw cards out of the deck, and you keep drawing into extenders, so it's really cool. This is my spicy tech for the deck, the Gaia Saber, the Lightning Shadow, basically for the fact that he is a machine monster, and this is the reason why I picked the Cyber Angel Izana instead of the other level 8 Cyber Angel, because with this, with the Meteonis Drytron, this card is actually able to be summoned off. So basically in your turn, if you're trying to, again, break through your opponent's board with all of your nightmares, let's say that you have like a Phoenix and maybe a Relinquished Anima on board, or you would probably go into Link Karibo and then Nightmare Phoenix, bust through your opponent's board by getting rid of like a problem spell or something. Then off of that, then you have these two random cards that don't really do you anything. Then you just link them away for your Gaia Saber, the Lightning Shadow, and then you can use your Meteonis Drytron to get rid of him to bring out your Cyber Angel Izana. So that is just basically the only reason, just to get another machine monster out with high attack. You can also use this if you like combo off to get the Nova back to hand, and then you have like still a Drytron monster with like 1,000 attack or something, then you can basically use these two to get out like the Chaos Max Dragon or something, or just the Chaos Dragon. There's just a lot of reasons why I wanted to include this in here. The extra deck isn't that important in here, so overall there was a lot of space that I was able to put him in with. One copy of Mech Knight Crusadia Evermax just to sort of link away some of these guys, like you know, if you get a Unicorn or something on board and then eventually you want to just get rid of it for a Evermax. Then for XZs, we're playing one Lyrilisk Assembled Nightingale, one Downward Magician, and then obviously the Zeus. We want Zeus in here just to sort of have a little bit of extra protection. And then we have our number 38 Hope Harbinger, and then Dingirsu. Dingirsu is great for, again, breaking boards. And Hope Harbinger is nice for stalling out, again, if your opponent forces you to go first. If you cannot afford some of these cards, I know that Double A Zeus is way out of a lot of people's budget. And then we have other stuff like the Relinquished Anima in here. So just for more budget options, you guys can definitely play another copy of Geonator Transverser in case the first one gets negated or something. Then we have like the Fucho as well as a Borosword Dragon. And then lastly, if you guys want to play the Twin Burst Dragon just to sort of fit with the Blue Eyes theme a little bit more, that is definitely okay as well. But guys, that's going to do it for my Chaos Max Dragon deck profile. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. This one has been super fun. You guys can test around a lot with the numbers and whatnot. If you guys want to play like 3 Nova or something and whatnot, if you guys want to sort of shave down the fairy engine, you guys can definitely do that as well. Just play it to your comfort. This is just more of a guideline on how to play the deck, how to build the deck, and just sort of get your feet on the ground. This is a really cool deck to just sort of play online. You can surprise a lot of people on Dueling Nexus or EDO Pro and whatnot. It's a lot of fun. So I hope you guys build this deck. It's super duper fun. Everybody loves Blue Eyes. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to check out the details on my Patreon and all that other stuff, links will be down in the description.